Have you ever wondered how daily habits, even the most personal ones, could impact your emotional well-being and relationships as you age? In today's video, we dive deep into the effects of frequent masturbation in men over 70, exploring both its benefits and hidden risks. You'll learn how this seemingly harmless act can become a double-edged sword, offering emotional relief but potentially isolating you from deeper connections with your partner. We'll also reveal the physical consequences that come with age and how to balance personal pleasure with maintaining a rich and fulfilling intimate life. Stay with us until the end, as we'll provide key insights from experts on how to avoid common pitfalls and embrace healthier alternatives for sexual energy, so you can continue enjoying life, both physically and emotionally, well into your senior years. Don't miss the chance to understand this important yet often overlooked aspect of aging and intimacy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. As we grow older, certain habits, once seen as harmless or even beneficial, can begin to spark deeper questions when they become part of our daily lives. One such habit is frequent masturbation, a topic that often remains unspoken, especially among older men. However, it's important to consider the effects this behavior can have, not only on one's physical and mental health, but also on the emotional fabric of a relationship with a partner. As we navigate the complexities of aging, this seemingly personal act can reflect much larger, more profound issues beneath the surface. For many older men, the psychological landscape of their later years is often marked by a series of significant and sometimes painful transitions. Retirement, for example, represents the end of a career and a sense of identity that may have been built over decades. Physical changes, such as reduced mobility or decreased stamina, can bring feelings of helplessness or frustration. The loss of a lifelong partner, through death or divorce, can leave behind an immense emotional void. In these moments, masturbation may not just be a sexual act but rather an emotional refuge, a place where they can momentarily escape the harsh realities of their changing world. It offers a sense of control, familiarity, and, most importantly, relief from the emotional storms that often accompany the later stages of life. Psychologically, frequent masturbation can become a coping mechanism for these emotional shifts. It allows older men to reconnect with their bodies and feel a sense of vitality and independence, especially when other aspects of life feel out of their control. The American Psychological Association has noted that maintaining sexual activity in old age is often linked to a lower risk of developing mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. It serves as a form of self-care, a way to release tension and affirm that they are still capable of experiencing pleasure, still alive in a deeply visceral sense. But when masturbation becomes a daily practice, questions begin to arise. Is this truly a healthy outlet, or is it becoming a substitute for facing other important aspects of life? When an older man turns to masturbation as his primary emotional escape, he might be unknowingly avoiding deeper emotional needs that are harder to confront but crucial for long-term well-being. For instance, the need for meaningful emotional connections, the need to communicate with a partner, or the need to address unresolved conflicts within a relationship. In this sense, daily masturbation, while providing immediate relief, may hinder the emotional growth and healing that comes from addressing these deeper, more complex issues. Moreover, while masturbation itself is not intrinsically harmful when it becomes a habitual and solitary practice, it can create a psychological dependency that detracts from the joys of shared intimacy. Intimacy, after all, is not solely about physical pleasure. It is about emotional closeness, vulnerability, and the bond that two people share. When one partner consistently turns to masturbation instead of engaging in shared moments of intimacy, it can unintentionally create feelings of disconnection or even rejection in the other partner. It's as though the intimate space that was once shared becomes increasingly private, turning inward rather than outward toward the relationship. This shift in intimacy can be profoundly hurtful. Imagine being in a relationship where, over time, the emotional and physical closeness that once defined the bond begins to fade. A partner may feel neglected, as though they are no longer desired or needed in the same way. The act of masturbation, while seemingly harmless on the surface, can lead to a growing emotional distance. It's not that the man doesn't care for his partner. It's that he may not even realize how his behavior is affecting the emotional balance in the relationship. Over time, this can create a quiet rift that makes it harder for both partners to reconnect, leaving behind feelings of loneliness, inadequacy, or even resentment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So, what begins as a way to cope with the changes of aging can, if left unchecked, become a barrier to emotional closeness. The older man may not even realize that by turning inward, he is shutting his partner out. The partner, in turn, may start to feel that their role in the relationship has diminished, leading to a sense of rejection or frustration. In such cases, it becomes essential for both partners to communicate openly about their needs, both physical and emotional. Relationships thrive on communication, and when one partner is unaware of how their actions affect the other, misunderstandings and emotional distance can grow. It's also important to recognize that sexuality in older age is about much more than just physical satisfaction. It's about emotional connection, tenderness, and the comfort of shared experiences. When an older man frequently resorts to masturbation as his primary outlet, he may be missing out on the deeper, more fulfilling aspects of intimacy that come from connecting with a partner. Physical intimacy with a loved one goes beyond the act itself. It encompasses emotional support, mutual care, and the feeling of being truly seen and valued by another. In contrast, when masturbation becomes an isolated habit, it risks creating a sense of solitude, even within a relationship. The question then is not whether masturbation is inherently wrong or harmful. It's whether it's being used as a substitute for addressing other, more pressing emotional needs. Is it a form of genuine self-care, or is it a way to avoid the more difficult, but ultimately more rewarding, work of maintaining emotional bonds and confronting the challenges that come with aging? It's essential to reflect on whether this habit is providing true fulfillment or simply acting as a temporary escape from life's more significant challenges. Masturbation in older age, particularly for men over 70, can significantly affect both physical health and emotional well-being, often in ways that are deeply personal and sometimes misunderstood. When a man turns to masturbation as a routine, it can create a silent ripple in the dynamics of a relationship. For many women, this habit might not just be viewed as a mere preference for solo sexual release, but as an unspoken message. A message that can feel like a subtle yet painful sign of disinterest, disengagement, or even dissatisfaction. Imagine being in a long-term relationship and suddenly feeling as though you're no longer the source of desire for your partner, no longer the person they turn to for intimacy and connection. The emotional toll this can take on a partner is profound, often leading to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a quiet sorrow that lingers unaddressed. It's not just about the physical aspect of sex. It's about the emotional security, the warmth, and the closeness that shared intimacy brings. For men, especially those in their 70s, the situation can feel equally complex. With age comes a natural decline in sexual desire, and many men also struggle with the ability to achieve or maintain a consistent erection. These physical changes can be incredibly frustrating, and in some cases, even embarrassing. What was once effortless and spontaneous now requires more time, 39, and patience. And sometimes, the fear of not being able to meet a partner's expectations looms large. In this context, masturbation can seem like the easiest solution. A private, predictable act that allows a man to avoid the potential embarrassment or pressure of shared intimacy. There's no judgment, no possibility of rejection, and no need to confront the insecurities that come with aging. It feels like a way to maintain control in a world where so much, especially physically, feels out of one's control. Yet, while masturbation may offer temporary relief and a sense of ease, it also comes at the cost of something irreplaceable. The connection that physical closeness fosters with a partner is something that masturbation cannot replicate. There's a certain magic in shared intimacy, the way a partner's touch can soothe the soul, how laughter and vulnerability during intimate moments can deepen emotional bonds, and how sex, in its most intimate form, becomes an unspoken language between two people. It's not just about the act, it's about everything that comes with it. The security, the affection, the shared experience that says, "I choose you." According to Harvard University studies, older men who continue to engage in an active sexual relationship with their partners not only enjoy a higher quality of life, but also experience greater emotional fulfillment and satisfaction in their relationships. This suggests that the benefits of shared intimacy extend far beyond the physical. They nurture the emotional core of a partnership, keeping it alive and thriving even in the later years of life. From a medical standpoint, masturbation is not inherently harmful in old age, and in fact, occasional masturbation can offer health benefits. It promotes healthy blood circulation and helps maintain the reproductive system. It's a natural act that, when done in moderation, can support overall sexual health. But there are crucial nuances to consider. Men over 70 do not have the same energy levels or physical resilience as they did in their youth. Frequent masturbation, especially if it becomes a daily habit, can lead to feelings of fatigue and depletion. Imagine seeking out pleasure only to feel drained and exhausted afterward. What once might have been an act of enjoyment turns into something that diminishes energy rather than replenishes it. For older men who already face challenges with lower energy and longer recovery times, this can become a serious concern. Additionally, there's the risk of physical irritation. As the body ages, the skin becomes more sensitive, and this is especially true for delicate areas such as the genitals. Constant stimulation can cause skin irritations or even minor injuries, which, while not life-threatening, can certainly add to the discomfort. Over time, this can create a situation where what was once a source of pleasure becomes a source of pain or frustration. There's also the psychological aspect to consider. As men age, the body's recovery processes slow down, and while sexual energy remains, it's no longer as abundant or rapidly replenished as it was in youth. Engaging in daily masturbation can slowly transform from a pleasurable experience into a more mechanical action, something done out of habit rather than genuine desire. This shift can lead to a reduction in overall libido, turning what should be a deeply fulfilling act into something that feels routine or even obligatory. There's a quiet sadness in realizing that an act once filled with excitement and joy has lost its spark, becoming more about physical release than emotional connection or personal satisfaction. For older men, the key is balance and mindfulness. It's important to recognize the changes in the body and adapt accordingly. Rather than relying solely on masturbation for sexual fulfillment, it may be beneficial to explore other activities that help maintain and even enhance sexual energy more holistically. Practices like yoga and meditation are excellent for this, as they focus on connecting the body and mind, cultivating a deeper awareness of physical sensations and emotional states. These practices can help preserve sexual vitality without overtaxing the body. Aerobic exercise, too, can be incredibly beneficial, as it promotes cardiovascular health, increases energy levels, and can even boost libido by improving overall physical fitness. By incorporating a range of activities that stimulate both the body and mind, older men can maintain a healthy sexual life that feels fulfilling on multiple levels. It's not just about maintaining an active sex life, but doing so in a way that honors the body's changes, the emotional needs of a partner, and the richness of connection that shared intimacy can bring. After all, sex at any age is not merely about physical pleasure. It's about connection, vulnerability, and the deep sense of belonging that comes from being truly close to someone. So, while masturbation has its place, it's important to remember that it's only one part of a much larger picture of intimacy and well-being. As a man reaches his 70s and continues to engage in daily masturbation, it raises a thought-provoking question. What might the future hold for him in terms of his sexual, emotional, and physical well-being? On the surface, he may still enjoy the numerous benefits of maintaining regular sexual activity, such as the release of feel-good hormones like endorphins, the reduction of stress, improved sleep, and even a lingering sense of youthful vitality. Sexual expression, at any age, offers a powerful connection to one's own body, reminding us that pleasure is not reserved for the young. However, as with many aspects of aging, the journey is nuanced, and there are potential challenges ahead if other elements of his life are neglected or sacrificed in favor of routine solo pleasure. Life in the golden years is all about finding balance. While masturbation can be a wonderful, natural, and healthy way for a man to express his sexuality, it should not become the dominant or sole expression of intimacy. The human need for connection, physical, emotional, and spiritual, does not fade with age. It can grow stronger as life becomes more fragile and time more precious. The risk lies in allowing masturbation to become a replacement for deeper, more meaningful interactions. When solo pleasure becomes the primary, or even exclusive outlet for sexual expression, it may inadvertently lead to emotional isolation. The warmth of another's touch, the soothing comfort of a shared embrace, or the powerful connection that comes from intimate eye contact are irreplaceable experiences that enrich life, even more so in our later years. If a man finds himself engaging in daily masturbation without balancing it with these shared intimate moments, the long-term emotional effects can be profound. He may begin to feel a growing sense of loneliness, even if he doesn't recognize it at first. There's an emotional depth that is often missed when physical pleasure is sought only through self-gratification. The act itself can become hollow over time, no matter how satisfying the physical release. Human beings are wired for connection, for closeness, for the kind of love and affection that cannot be replicated through solo acts. Without these, a man risks losing touch with the world around him, and more importantly, with himself on a deeper emotional level. However, this doesn't mean that masturbation in older age is harmful or should be avoided. Quite the contrary. Integrating masturbation into a broader, more varied sexual life can be incredibly fulfilling. Solo pleasure can exist alongside shared intimacy in a way that complements and enriches a man's experience of sexuality. It's not about choosing one over the other, but about creating space for both. This balance allows for the best of both worlds. The independence and self-awareness that comes from knowing and enjoying one's own body, as well as the joy and emotional nourishment that comes from intimacy with another. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As men age, their bodies and minds naturally begin to approach sexuality differently. With age comes wisdom, and that wisdom can transform how a man experiences and enjoys his sexuality. There is beauty in this evolution, a new way of connecting with one's body, one's partner, and even one's soul. Rather than focusing solely on physical pleasure, sexuality in later years can become more about emotional intimacy, communication, and mutual respect. This shift doesn't diminish the importance of sex. It elevates it to a more meaningful and conscious level, where the connection with the self and with others is more profound than ever before. The topic of sexuality in older age is often swept under the rug, treated as though it's something to be embarrassed about or avoided altogether. Yet, it is one of the most human aspects of our existence, and it deserves to be talked about openly, with respect and understanding. Every man is different. Some may feel comfortable and satisfied with daily masturbation, while others may long for more connection, more touch, and more shared experiences. There's no right or wrong way to navigate sexuality in the later stages of life. It's deeply personal, and each individual must find what works for him. The key is to remain open to the changing nature of one's desires and needs. Ultimately, sexuality doesn't fade with age, it evolves. And in that evolution, there is immense potential for growth, fulfillment, and deep satisfaction. The body may age, but the spirit of sexual expression, in all its forms, can remain vibrant and alive. What matters most is that it is lived consciously, with an understanding of how important human connection is at every stage of life. Whether through self-pleasure or shared intimacy, the goal is to keep that connection alive, because it is through these experiences that we feel most alive, most human, and most connected to the ones we love and to ourselves. As we reflect on the deeper aspects of sexuality in later years, it's clear that maintaining balance and connection, both with ourselves and with others, is key to living a fulfilling and rich life, even as we age. The journey of sexual expression evolves, but it remains an important part of who we are. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What have you learned from this discussion? Is there one idea or insight that resonates with you and that you're inspired to bring into your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation and learn from each other's experiences. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.